Guys, I have to admit to you that I lied. How you doing, guys? My name is Jason. I'm a self-taught web developer who, through my journey in web development, kept hitting walls, and I realized that I probably needed to go to a boot camp. So after a ton of research, I decided to go to Flatirons Access Labs in Brooklyn. And this channel is going to document my journey from weeks 1 to weeks 15 with a weekly review of Flatiron School. So let's get into it. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to check out my week 8 review of Flatiron School. And like I said at the top, I lied. Well, I kind of lied, but let me explain. The last time you tuned in, I made this proclamation, right, that I was a web developer. And at the time, I felt like I was. I had gotten to the point where I was halfway through the program. I knew enough back-end and front-end web development. And I felt like, you know what? I'm making some stuff move around the page. I'm making some data persist. I'm being able to save things. I'm able to make these little mock Instagram and Twitter apps. So, you know what? I feel like a web developer. So what wasn't a lie about that? Well, at the time, I did feel that way. But after I failed my 3 code challenge later on that week, I didn't feel that way so much. So how do I feel today? Well, I feel like a web developer today. So here's the point. You are going to feel like you know some things that you're learning sometimes, and sometimes you're going to feel like you don't know what the heck is going on. Sometimes you're going to feel like, you know, what all the 7-8 weeks worth of knowledge, why can't I tap into it? Why can't I access it when I need to? And sometimes you're going to feel like you've been in the program or learning whatever you've been learning for way longer than you have. And this doesn't apply just to computer programming or computer engineering. It applies to anything. There's something called imposter syndrome. And if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's when you are in the process of learning something, you gain a certain amount of knowledge in that field and you advertise yourself or you proclaim to know something. And most of the time you feel like you don't know that thing well enough, to the point where if somebody asked you about it, or you had a job interview, or somebody asked you to produce on that thing that you claim to know, you would be exposed as an imposter. You would feel like, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing, and somebody will call you out and say, look at this guy, he said he can do X, Y, and Z. He's an imposter. And most people feel that way regardless of what industry they're in. So I was having a little bit of imposter syndrome, and I was having a little bit of I arrived too early syndrome. So the moral of the story is, and it sounds very cliche, but don't get too high and don't get too low, because the last time I came to you guys, in between that time and now, I hit a rock bottom where I failed the code challenge again, and now I'm feeling better. Well, why do I feel better? Well, after failing the code challenge again, I have to do a solo project. And I was a little leery about doing a solo project because I didn't feel like I had a strong handle on the content that we used, that we covered in the code challenge. So I feel good today because I started on my project, and I made very good headway. The stuff that I wasn't really clear on, I've gotten a better handle on, and I'm feeling pretty good. But do I feel like a web developer? Sort of. Do I feel as confident as I felt the last time you guys tuned in and the last time I made a video? Probably not. But that is the life of a web developer. That's the life of anybody learning any new skill that's been thrust on them at a rapid pace over a 7-8 week span. So just want to check in with you guys and let you know how my week 8 went. It was turbulent. I felt a little sick during the week. I had to take a day off. It was just a tough week. The weather's changing. I feel it a little bit more. I feel the season change, and it gets to me just a little bit, so I have to readjust. And that's where I'm at right now. So if you have any questions about Flatiron, if you have any specific questions about my journey, leave some comments in the comment section. I will get right back to you. Please don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button so you can get notified when I do my week 9 review. This week, depending on how I do on my project, I might make it to mod 4. I might not make it to mod 4. So tune back in. I will probably show you guys a little snippet of my project, what it looked like depending on how it goes. And I will let you know how week 9 went and if I'm moving on to the next mod. If I'm moving on to the penultimate, the fourth, the second to last mod, 4 out of 5. So tune in. And once again, thank you guys for checking in. I'll see you soon.